It seems with this atmosphere that UEFA Cup football belongs here at Villa Park. Let's go to our commentary team now for what should be a firecracker of a game. Stan Collymore in first, Tony Jones.
Many thanks, Colin. There have been some wonderful European nights at Villa Park over the years. Not many in the more recent past, but the Aston Villa followers here are doing their best to raise the roof for their team's return to the big time. Villa go into this fixture minus John Carew, their Norwegian international striker, who's been feeling under the weather for the past day or two. But both Luke Yang and Nicky Shorey return to the starting 11 after sitting out Saturday's goalless draw with Portsmouth. Ajax tonight, all in blue as opposed to the familiar red and white which served them so well in Europe all those years ago. The 4 times European champions, they have had their hands on the UEFA Cup as well. It is a prize for Aston Villa at the end of this season, and doubtless Martin O'Neill, their manager, will think that he's still got some unfinished business in the competition before it becomes the Europa League. Don't forget, it was his Celtic team that lost to a Porto team led by one Jose Mourinho 5 years ago. There is the Aston Villa team just running through the bottom of your picture. Milner and also Ashley Young, the two who'll be expected to push forward to support Gabri Agbonlahor. There is Suarez, Uruguay, on by Huntelaar. Huntelaar, who many expected would leave Ajax during the summer months. Who's had a difficult first few weeks in charge of Ajax. 5 of his squad were away at the Olympic Games, 3 with the Netherlands, 2 with Belgium. He's got them all back now. He's minus as well Suleimani, the club's record signing. 16 million euro he cost them. He has a hamstring problem. He's one of the long-term absentees. Van Basten has had to readjust. He was also very critical just last week when Ajax were beaten 5-2 at Heerenveen. He said that his team had no spine. There were 2 down inside the first 10 minutes. It was a wet night, it was a miserable night. And he said that his Ajax team went up for the fight, Stan.
Absolutely. Good evening, everyone. Ajax. It's a shame they're not wearing their famous red and white this evening, but nonetheless, they've started as we'd expect all Dutch teams to do. Past masters at keeping the ball, keeping possession. It's going to be a real game for Villa this evening.
And there is a wonderful atmosphere. Aston Villa supporters have really got behind their team. Huntelaar through the middle. Well watched by Cuellar. Cuellar now playing in the centre of defence alongside Martin Laursen. An opportunity for Laursen to meet up with his former Danish international teammate Dennis Rommedahl, who many might remember during his time in the Premier League with Charlton Athletic. He featured for Ajax at the weekend as a substitute, but he hasn't made the trip across to England. Oleguer, the Spaniard. Now Bruno Silva. Oleguer has scored the goal at the weekend when Ajax were able to knock Groningen off the top of the Dutch league. Breda are the team currently out in front. What do you make of Martin O'Neill's selection this evening, minus John Carew?
Well, having seen plenty of Villa over the last 18 months, John Carew, of course, pretty much at the apex of the triumvirate team. Ashley Young, Gabri Agbonlahor. But this evening, like you say, no John Carew due to illness, so Agbonlahor plays as point man, Ashley Young on the left, and James Milner, England under-21 international, of course, over on that right-hand side. So a lot of expected of Gabri to hold the ball up in the absence of Carew, with Young and Milner playing off him, making runs deep. But again, they're going to have to get used to this European style when they start to play some of the big boys, where possession is 9/10, and Ajax, certainly as they've started, have kept the ball very, very well.
Success for Martin O'Neill in Europe as a manager with Celtic, also, of course, in his playing days with Nottingham Forest. Oleguer once more to bring the ball forward. Played for Barcelona in the European Cup final when they were successful against Arsenal. Bruno Silva looking for Huntelaar. Important interception there by Cuellar. It's a splendid run here by Vertonghen. Now Suarez. Got 3 to pick out inside the Aston Villa penalty area. He has been denied that opportunity by Shorey. Petrov now, out of that Celtic team that reached the UEFA Cup final.
That will be the most likely route for Ajax this evening. Suarez on the right of the 3, Huntelaar again as point man, and Sarpong on the left.
Here's Ashley Young looking for Agbonlahor. It's Oleguer who's able to clear the danger. Ball is really zipping off this wonderful surface at Villa Park. Has been drizzling throughout the afternoon. And that slip by Gabri just illustrates that you can't really afford to lose your concentration for a second. Shorey is on the corner.
Good opportunity now for Villa. It's been all Ajax in the opening exchanges, but Villa just in the last 30 or 40 seconds picked their work rate up a little bit. Big guns will go in the box. Expect to see around the penalty spot Laursen, Cuellar, Gabri, Agbonlahor. And although Shorey's going over for maybe the short one, just open up the angle for the England man over on that left-hand side. I'd expect him to whip it in. And again, attack near.
Ashley Young then with the corner kick. Now it will be a throw. Shorey, who left Reading in the summer, might have been playing in the Championship. Instead, he finds himself in the UEFA Cup, and he's won the free kick here following that challenge by Gabri. Gabri, another of the players who has been struggling with injury. The Spaniard, another one who was with Barcelona previously. Ashley Young getting increasingly irritated that Gabri isn't retreating the 10 yards.
Certainly think from that position, Shorey doesn't need to be stood near Ashley Young. I think Ashley Young can whip this in, miss the first man out, get players across the face of goal.
There's Ashley Young who's taken this free kick. And it almost fell to Laursen. Another opportunity now for Villa to stretch this Ajax defence, and it's Gabri who's back there to help the back four out.
Excellent play by James Milner over on that right-hand side. Ball came out to him. Ashley Young with the original free kick, of course. I think Milner nodded it back across goal. Ball was recycled over on the right-hand side and whipped back in. Good pressure from Villa.
Ashley Young again. Change of approach this time. It's Laursen who's made the breakthrough. Less than 8 minutes played. And Martin Laursen, the skipper, has put Aston Villa ahead. His 3rd goal in Europe already this season. And what a European season it could turn out to be for Aston Villa.
Excellent header by Martin Laursen. Holt end on their feet. Excellent finish. It was a really good corner by Ashley Young right on the edge of the 6-yard box. The goalkeeper came for it. Vermeer. But as we see there, Martin Laursen just gets up. There you see him in the corner of the screen. Bang. 1-0 Villa.
Martin Laursen has put Aston Villa ahead. Laursen, who's overcome so many knee injuries to become such an accomplished performer at the back for Aston Villa. Now Olof Mellberg at the back, of course, for Villa now, having made the switch to Juventus during the summer months, but Laursen, of course, as well with the captain's armband, taking over from Gareth Barry when there was all the speculation that Barry would be on his way to Liverpool.
Just seeing that again. Excellent delivery. So many times we see in European football and domestically, as Martin O'Neill jumps up, a little jig of delight. It's all about the delivery. Villa in the last 3 or 4 minutes from left and from right have had good delivery in the box. And when you have people willing to put their head on the end of it, like Martin Laursen, very much leads by example here at Villa Park. Just the start that Villa needed.
To stand alongside me was part of the last Villa team to make any significant progress in Europe. Names of Barcelona, Inter Milan, Bordeaux and Athletic Bilbao among those also on the lips of the Villa fans who got used to all the glitz and the glamour. Just the start that Villa wanted here. Gabbri's challenge.
Imperative that that happens this evening. Gabriel Agbonlahor there on the left-hand side, winningly running into the channel. And like saying, the absence of the big Norwegian John Carew, really important that Gabby holds the ball up. And one or two criticisms that when Carew is out of the side, he's not as effective up front, Gabriel Agbonlahor. This certainly will be a test of his limited experience at this level.
Suarez losing out to Barry. Barry was suggested he was a little bit miffed to be playing at left back for Aston Villa on Saturday. Oleguer trying to find Reo-Coker. Reo-Coker was part of the England under-21 squad that missed out in the European Championships when they were played in the Netherlands last year.
Settled in nicely after his move, big money move from West Ham United in the central Villa midfield, plenty of industry. Running alongside Gareth Barry and Stilian Petrov, who again, another player that since he came from Celtic had a disappointing first season, it has to be said, in a Villa shirt. But looks very hungry, and they have a very, very settled side here.
All 5 Dutch teams have qualified for the UEFA Cup. Ajax hoped that they would be in the Champions League. They've missed out on Europe's top club competition in recent times. Missed out on the 3rd qualifying round last season. At the start of this season, they missed out completely because they were beaten by 20 Enschede in the end-of-season playoffs in the Netherlands, even though they finished 2nd. They were runners-up to PSV. Ashley Young looking for Shorey. Again, it's a terrific cross in, and it was Milner who was almost on the end of it.
Just overcooked the pass a little bit. Ashley Young, excellent overlapping though. Fully 40-50 yards Nicky Shorey ran, and he got to the byline, and that's where Villa really need to be. Both right and left, get good penetration, good movement, attack the full-backs, Emanuelson over on the right and Bruno Silva on the left, and keep a very high Premier League tempo. Because believe you me, for as much as Ajax Amsterdam, 29 Dutch titles, 4 European Cups, one of only 3 or 4 sides to have won all 3 of Europe's Premier trophies, Cup Winners' Cup, UEFA Cup and Champions League, of course. This side is a mid-table Dutch side, and Dutch football at the moment isn't the best.
Yeah, I was going to say, Stan, it's a struggling league, really. Emanuelson then with his free kick. Laursen with a header clear. Simply hasn't been any threat from Ajax in attack so far. Vermaelen, one of the 2 Belgians in this Ajax team, along with Vertonghen. Both have come through the Ajax academy. And by Oleguer. He's Agbonlahor, watched closely by Vermaelen. With Emanuelson, they both know each other well. They've both faced each other at under-21 international level. Emanuelson, who played a couple of games for Marco van Basten in the qualifiers for the European Championship as well at senior level this summer. He didn't make the final 23 for Austria and Switzerland. There's Barry. Oleguer. Another Villa corner.
Again, good play by Villa. Corner ball, Gareth Barry just over on that right-hand side in the Holt end. Again, Villa looking for the short corner, just trying to open the angle up a little bit to be able to whip the ball in.
Cuellar's in there. Laursen ready to make his move. Laursen has made the header again.
Struggling Rasmus Lindgren. He's obviously detailed to try and go up with Martin Laursen, but every single time the ball's gone in the box, the Villa skipper has won out.
goalkeeper isn't actually Ajax's first choice because of the injury to Stekelenburg. Here's Huntelaar. Just left his foot in there as Luking attempted to clear.
Sure, there'll be plenty of Premier League scouts sat over in the Trinity Road stand running the rule over Huntelaar. Obviously one of a plethora really of young quality Dutch players that have come through the Ajax system over the years. Skipper this evening tends to score his goals in fits and starts rather than consistently, but I'm sure, like I say, a lot of Premier League scouts will see how he does tonight against a very good Premier League team in Aston Villa.
You're surprised, Dan, that nobody's taken a chance with him as yet?
Not yet. He's obviously got plenty of time. He's playing in a team where everything goes in and around him. We've seen the likes of Alphonso Alves, of course, go up to Middlesbrough, scored plenty of goals in the Dutch league. I think such is the paucity now of the Eredivisie that they'll need to see him play more games at this level before they take a chance on him. But without a doubt, he will play in one of Europe's Premier Leagues sooner rather than later.
Twice he's managed 33 goals in the season. Experienced Oleguer again to just ease a little bit of the pressure. It's been an impressive start by Aston Villa. Boosted by an 8-minute goal from the skipper Martin Laursen. Laursen again with a terrific header. Agbonlahor. Now Ashley Young.
Again, really good play by Gabri, Agbonlahor, holding the ball up, bringing other people into play, adding another string to his bow. Usually it comes off him way too quickly.
Agbonlahor. Reo-Coker's in there. Neatly done by Shorey. Reo-Coker couldn't quite connect with the header. Helped away by Bruno Silva. Only as far as Ashley Young. Touched on there by Petrov. He just caught Luke Young out of the corner of his eye.
Unfortunate, James Milner over on that right-hand side. Villa keeping the ball well, using the width, left and right exceptionally well, and Oleguer, Spanish defender, and Bruno Silva, the Uruguayan, really struggling down this left-hand side to cope with the pace, the guile, the imagination of Ashley Young.
James Milner, who was signed by Aston Villa just before the August transfer deadline day from Newcastle United, reached the quarter-finals of the UEFA Cup with Newcastle not that long ago.
I think the thing for Martin O'Neill, I heard him speak many times, is consistency of selection is very important, whether it be the Premier League, Carling Cup, FA Cup, or in Europe. He likes the bulk of the side to play together week in, week out, and certainly it's paid dividends since his arrival.
Having a Nottingham Forest when Brian Clough was his manager, of course.
I'm sure one or two bits of magic dust sprinkled onto Martin O'Neill from the great Brian Clough, of course.
Bruno Silva looking for Gabri. Struggling to cope with the intensity that Aston Villa showed in the opening 10 minutes or so. Vertonghen. Done by Sarpong. Here's Gabri looking for Huntelaar.
I think that's the great thing about James Milner, always willing to work back as well. We know about his quality going forward. His crossing is usually very good, beats the first man. So many times you see in Premier League games and football of all standards, failure to beat the full-back usually in the cross, but he does that more often than not.
Sarpong, one of those who's been introduced to the Ajax first team this season by Marco van Basten. Suarez. Now Emanuelson. Lindgren.
Oh, Brad Friedel will be happy if Ajax shoot from there all day long. Just carried the ball forward, fully 35-40 yards. Absolutely no chance of beating the big American there. Just interested to see that Vertonghen, the Belgian, saw them against Spain a week or so ago now, but real renaissance in Belgian football, of course. Likes of Dufour, Axel Witsel, Standard Liège, Marouane Fellaini at Everton. Good player, Vertonghen.
The Ajax are impressed with both Vertonghen and Vermaelen. Vertonghen, the midfielder, has been able to pick out Sarpong. Well read by Luke Young, spotted the danger very early then.
Again, the Belgium involved, picking the ball up. He's just had one or two touches, one or two signs. Sarpong made a fantastic run diagonally across the 18-yard box. But Luke Young was more than a match for it. Read the run, got the challenge in. Corner to Ajax.
Corner which Emanuelson will take. Oh, it's gone in! They've got their equalising goal! Vermaelen in there together with Vertonghen. Either way, Ajax have equalised from that. Emanuelson, corner kick.
Well, just looking into the replay of it, one or two questions about Villa's marking. They decided to go zonally, not man for man. Decent ball in by Emanuelson over on that left-hand side. And there, you see Villa marking zonally. Vermaelen, up he gets, thumping header, just off the underside of the crossbar. Game on.
Ajax with their equalising goal midway through this first half. Thomas Vermaelen has got that equaliser.
Well, if evidence were needed that there was indeed, or is indeed, a renaissance in Belgian football. It was Vertonghen originally with the ball that went out for the corner. And then the big central defender, Thomas Vermaelen, that has brought back parity to Ajax Amsterdam.
Einbar is our referee this evening. All the officials come from Austria. Just having a quiet word there with Rasmus Lindgren. Petrov then with his free kick. Again, he's looking for Laursen.
Well, Villa started well. Got their noses in front, but certainly in the last 2 or 3 minutes, Ajax's shape, the three up front, Sarpong over on the left. Suarez has been a little bit quiet. He usually provides the bullets for Klaas Huntelaar, who pretty much is a predatory striker. Don't expect a lot from him outside the box, but in and around the box, he's lethal. So Villa just need to calm down, keep the ball, keep plenty of possession, and I'm sure if they use that width, try and get their noses back in front.
This is the second of 2 UEFA Cup games we've got on 5 this evening. Defeat again for Tottenham in Italy, beaten by Udinese. Further problems for Juan de Ramos and Tottenham. One or two concerns now for Aston Villa after taking the lead with that goal from Martin Laursen. Nico van Basten's team have levelled with the header from Thomas Vermaelen.
Again, watch how Villa defend the edge of the 6-yard box. They have players in specific positions they don't mark. They let those Ajax players drift in. They just need to be on their toes. The Villa players see them all there along the line.
Emanuelson again. Helped away by Laursen.
I suppose there's 2 schools of thought defending corners, and mark zonally, where you just stand in an area, or mark man for man, and whoever your detail to mark, you follow him wherever. I think that such was the quality of Emanuelson's corner. Ordinarily, that would have been cleared by Gareth Barry at the near post, but it just skipped over him, and Vermaelen pumped in the header. Good delivery.
Emerging through the knockout round, of course. Now into the group stages of the UEFA Cup. 40 clubs in 8 groups of 5. Also in this group, Zelina and Hamburg. Hamburg have won 2-0 already. Their first fixture has been completed this afternoon. Slavia Prague is next on the agenda for Aston Villa in a couple of weeks' time. Trip out to the Czech Republic. Vertonghen looking for Suarez, who's tight to this right-hand touchline.
It's a great ball from Vertonghen, from left to right. Try the diagonal ball to find Suarez over on this right-hand side in front of a couple of thousand Ajax supporters. Made the journey from Amsterdam. They really have an exceptional CV. Mentioned those 29 titles and 4 European Cups, 1 UEFA Cup, 1 Cup Winners' Cup. There's big John Carew. Should rather have been playing tonight to lead the line for Villa.
John Carew has been ill for the last couple of days. Martin O'Neill not prepared to take a chance with him. Ashley Young taking on Gabri. And getting beyond Gabri. Oleguer was at full stretch.
Again, there's the value of Ashley Young. Pure pace. Usually comes right over to the touchline, receives the ball and drives diagonally inside the box. Willing to go outside the player, even though he's a right footer.
Fuller scored from a corner. Ajax equalised from a corner. Yeah, the goalkeeper came for that Ashley Young cross. He didn't get anywhere near it. Started whether Vermeer would have had his chance, because Stekelenburg has this shoulder problem. The Dutch international goalkeeper, Edwin van der Sar, was forced out of international retirement last week to play for the Netherlands in their World Cup qualifiers. And his deputy, Dennis Huntelaar, is another one on the injured list.
Just overran it slightly. Still in Petrov. Getting good interplay though over on this left-hand side between Ashley Young and the Bulgarian. Did mention early on in the after the kick-off, his first season really, Stilian Petrov was a damp squib, but certainly this season and towards the end of last showed the form that persuaded Martin O'Neill to bring him down from Glasgow Celtic.
His 3rd season with Villa. It was Martin O'Neill's first buy. The Bulgarian international. Sarpong. There's Gabri. Silva.
Certainly can see there what class Huntelaar's all about in and around the 18-yard box. Really comes alive. Just made a lovely little run in behind. I think it was Shorey. Gets his side of corner again from this left-hand side in front of the Ajax fans. Villa though have plenty of bodies. You see a wall of blue just ready to come in, attack one near, one goalkeeper, one far, one edge of the box.
Again by Emanuelson. It's been helped on and helped just wide. Huntelaar it was who got there just ahead of Lindgren.
All about the delivery from Emanuelson. You see it coming in, you see those players attacking, one near, one around the goalkeeper. Unfortunate there. So the ball comes over. I think it's Suarez that gets the tiniest of touches. And there's the predatory Huntelaar at the far post, ready to tap it in. Brad Friedel not a happy man. Villa escape again.
Friedel earlier this week was making the point that the UEFA Cup this season is probably as tough as the Champions League. It's got the feel of the Champions League about it as well when you look at some of the teams who are involved. England represented by Manchester City don't have a game this week. Portsmouth, of course, who are in Portugal to play Braga. Tottenham have already been beaten today, as well as Villa. Knocked away by Vermaelen. Lindgren. And Suarez. Suarez again. Well won by Laursen, needed with some assistance from Shorey. Agbonlahor, closely watched by Oleguer.
Just need to be mindful, Villa over on this left-hand side. Shorey just about to take the throw, but Suarez starting to come more into the game. Sarpong has come from his left-hand berth within touching distance of Huntelaar, so they've got a ready three to play little give and goes. Vertonghen starting to get a little bit more into the game. Even Rasmus Lindgren, holding midfield player, has started to get forward in support of his striking triumvirate. So Villa just need to keep the shape.
Shorey. Left for Vermeer. One of those who was away at the Olympic Games. He's joined in Beijing by Emanuelson and also by Snow. Snow, of course, who had a time with Celtic in Scotland before arriving at Ajax in the summer. Aston spent over €30 million on new players. Still got a youthful Ajax team. It is the Ajax way. Cuellar. Cuellar gets his chance in the UEFA Cup because he wasn't cup-tied in his time with Glasgow Rangers. Picked up a calf injury just before they were eliminated from the Champions League by Kaunas in Lithuania.
One of my favourite players of all time, Marco van Basten, legend. Who remembers that wonderful volley against Russia, I think 1998, European
88.
Championships.
88, Stan, I think.
88, of course it was.
Time flies, doesn't it?
Against Russia.
Cuellar's made his move. Laursen also in there, and Laursen has won the header again. So strong to brush aside the challenge from Lindgren then.
Just gone a little bit scrappy now the last 2 or 3 minutes. Both sides struggling to wrestle possession of the ball. Both giving it away quite cheaply.
Stung after Ajax got their equalising goal. Ajax now playing with a little bit more assurance. Very shaky in the opening 10 minutes when Villa were able to take the lead. Forward by Silva. For his Uruguayan international teammate Suarez. His ball juggling skills nearly with Luis Suarez in the referee's notebook. And by Barry. There's Agbonlahor. Now Luke Young. Milner. Milner's done brilliantly. It came out to Ashley Young. Terrific opportunity for Ashley Young then.
It's a chance. A real chance for Ashley Young. Did very well, came off that left-hand berth just towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Milner drove the corner across, took the deflection which came over the fullback. Shaped for the top of the foot volley, just maybe a thought. Could have hit that with the side of the foot across the goalkeeper, tried to make him make a save. Gabri Agbonlahor was backing in. Stuart Pearce, of course, former teammate of mine, former captain of mine even, Nottingham Forest.
And now, of course, in charge of the England under-21s, keeping a careful watch, looking at Ashley Young and also Milner and indeed Agbonlahor. And here is Ashley Young again. Shorey racing forward in support.
Certainly think if Villa are going to go on and win this game, it's going to come from that man in possession of the ball now. He really does have the beating of Bruno Silva, the Uruguayan.
Here's Barry. Agbonlahor. Now Milner. Huntelaar. Picked off by Milner. Huntelaar again. Options both left and right this time. Here's Suarez. Oh, he's had a go. And Brad Friedel wasn't expecting that.
Excellent effort by Luis Suarez. Huntelaar, you see there, charging into the latter stages of Villa's. Towards the 18-yard box, Suarez picks it up, top of the foot. It's always going high and wide. You can see from Brad Friedel's angle, just happy to see it over. But again, Suarez, without a doubt, if Ashley Young is Villa's danger man down the left, then Suarez certainly is for the Dutch.
Suarez and Huntelaar between them scored 50 goals last season. Ajax managed over 90 in the Eredivisie. Didn't win the championship, however. Won again by PSV Eindhoven. Oleguer looking for Ashley Young. And Bruno Silva steps in. Bruno Silva, the Uruguayan, I noticed when he arrived at the ground this evening, was drinking that herbal tea from South America, the mate. Obviously the relaxed approach. Barry. Here's Milner.
There you see that need over on the right-hand side for Villa to beat the first man. Gets the second bite of the cherry.
Lindgren looking for Suarez. Suarez, one of the former Groningen contingent now in this Ajax team. To Bruno Silva and also Lindgren.
Certainly been one of the best goalkeepers, sorry, Tony, one of the best goalkeepers in the Premier League for the past 5 or 6 years. Mr. Consistency. I think a real coup with Scott Carson going on to pastures new, of course. He was here on loan last season. Brad Friedel has talked to Seamus McDonough, the Aston Villa goalkeeping coach, and he certainly was one on the top of Martin O'Neill's list when Carson left to go to West Brom. There's Seamus McDonough.
Yeah, alongside Steve Walford in the back there. Actually stepped up their security for this fixture as well, following the coin-throwing incident at the weekend. Nobody spotted, nobody apprehended at the time, but there is an extra policeman or two in that area. Out by Laursen, only as far as Suarez. Here's Huntelaar, who's offside.
Going to take the free kick quickly.
Don't forget, you can always get in touch with us here. Text the word comments, your name, your views, and where you're from to 80088. 80088. And text the word comments plus your name, your views, and where you're from. Always happy to get your thoughts on what you've seen this evening in this game between Aston Villa and Ajax, or indeed the earlier fixture we had on 5, Udinese defeating Tottenham Hotspur. Doesn't get any easier for Juan de Ramos or Tottenham.
Felt for Tottenham because certainly in the opening exchanges in the first 15 minutes, Aaron Lennon was heavily involved in the game. An awful mistake by Aurelio Gomez.
Slipped there by Oleguer. Blowing the chest for Ashley Young.
Took one for the team. He's up and running again. If anybody wonders what that patch tends to be on the front of a player's shirt, I think it's vapor rub to try and keep the airways open.
Ashley Young looking again for Laursen. Some nimble footwork from Luis Suarez. Sarpong on again towards Suarez.
Really pleasing on the eye, those three: Sarpong, Suarez and Huntelaar. Huntelaar's movement has been excellent, but certainly Suarez is the man that knits things together. He's always willing to take players on and really charge into the final third. The little Uruguayan plays very much in the Ajax mould. Players come in and take in different positions, not afraid at all to move out of their comfort zone.
Suarez has scored in both Ajax's European ties so far. They've had an easier passage into the group stages than Aston Villa, whose season began back in July. Bruno Silva. Huntelaar closely watched again by Laursen. Emanuelson. And again by Lindgren.
Crowd in the Holt end, making known what they want the Villa to up the tempo, but it's very, very difficult. The one thing that the Dutch produce in the Ajax Academy in particular, which has been copied worldwide, it has to be said, is players that are comfortable in possession of the ball under pressure, always happy to pass it to somebody, even with a claret and blue shirt, within touching distance of them, so that that will hold no fear for them. Whether they can manage to last 90 minutes with a Premier League side with the tempo, the strength that the Premier League gives, time will tell.
There's no doubt that Ajax have changed things a little bit, because Gabri is now playing in a more central position. He started on the right-hand side. Bruno Silva. On again by Sarpong. Here's Emanuelson.
Almost training ground passing and movement from the Dutch. Takes the sting out of the opposition, frustrates the crowd.
Vertonghen. Emanuelson trying to get beyond Milner. Denied that opportunity.
Never quite understood the overall club policy of Ajax. They bring players through from 7, 8 years of age, mature them, bring them in the team, 16, 17, regularly produce world-class footballers, and then sell them on when they get to 19, 20. It's crazy. Keep hold of them.
Yeah, so it stands. So many over the years, so many there have been who've made the move. Not helped this season either by the number of injuries that they had. 9 out just before the international break, but boosted at least by the return of Gabri. Gabri and Oleguer both back at the weekend for Ajax. Final minute of the first half here at Villa Park. Don't forget that at half-time we will also have highlights from the other UEFA Cup fixture which we've been showing on 5 this evening. Udinese against Tottenham Hotspur. Yet another defeat for Tottenham. The worst ever start to a season. Struggling in the Premier League, bottom of the Premier League. And a defeat as well in the UEFA Cup. Here's Ashley Young. It's come to Barry!
from that man again. Ashley Young over in the left-hand side. Nicky Shorey just played the little 1-2. And I said earlier in commentary that Ashley Young had the beating of Bruno Silva, cuts the ball back. And where was the Ajax defending? Flat-footed. Gareth Barry, former skipper. England international, of course. Simplest of tasks. Excellent time to go in at half-time with a 2-1 lead.
And Aston Villa couldn't have left it any later. Just time for Ajax to kick off again after Gareth Barry had restored Aston Villa's lead. They'd gone in front with a thumping header from the skipper, Martin Laursen, equalised by Thomas Vermaelen, again from a header from a corner kick. But Villa are back in front at half-time at Villa Park. It's Aston Villa 2, Ajax 1.
Thank you very much, guys. If you've just tuned in to Football in 5, you made the wrong mistake in your football viewing this evening. What a firecracker. More of the same, please. We'll see you after the break.
Oh, Brian, look at the new Peugeot partner. Solid in the middle there. Pretty good at the back, too.
Miss fifth gear? Catch up with Demand 5. You want, we give.
Club rules. Enjoy 200 channels of entertainment on demand in Club World from British Airways.
On DVD Monday.
What's going on here?
Let's face it, this is not the worst thing you've caught me doing.
On October 27th. Own the DVD. That rocks.
My turn.
Awesomely entertaining 4 stars. Iron Man. On DVD and Blu-ray Monday.
So this time, here's what I want you to do. You know I'm a musical expert, right? Ooh, baby, 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 baby. Throw in an arbitrary refrain. Ooh, baby, 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 baby. And then go back the rotation riff. Ooh, baby, baby, yeah, baby, baby. Ooh, baby, 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 baby. Boys, that was the most dedication I've ever seen out of you. You softened my heart.
Whenever I got near a girl, I had to check to see if I was sweating. But one day, while I was doing my thing, I found a way to stop it.
Sharp focus. New Lynx Dry.
We're all looking for new ways to save money these days. But some are more practical than others. At Lloyds TSB, you won't only find savings accounts with great rates, we've also got loads of practical tips that could save you hundreds of pounds. Be a savvy saver. Visit us online or in branch. Lloyds TSB, for the journey.
Come to Saints Row, a world of freedom, where every day offers new opportunities to be who you want to be and go where you want to go. See the sights and share the good times. The sky really is the limit, and the only thing missing is you.
Saints Row 2, out now.
Casino, Inter Casino.
Body is a trembling and I'm feeling like I'm gonna burst and blow. we're about to show you is
wonderful.
Brilliant.
Nice.
Miss the best gadget reviews? Catch up with Demand 5.
Look at that!
You want, we give.
Oh, he's a terrier. The new fox in the box. That's why they call him Peugeot Bipper.
What a half of football. Welcome back to Villa Park. I've climbed all the way up through the Ajax fans who have been in great voice tonight, up to Stan Collymoore's commentary position in the heavens. What a view, and what a view from the armchair as well for the last 45 minutes.
Absolutely. Villa scored their goals at the right time, didn't they? One just before the break, as we saw Gareth Barry. The first one from a corner from Martin Laursen. But in between, Ajax's football, their possession, their movement, Suarez up front alongside Huntelaar have been very, very good. Excellent game.
I have to say, Ajax have impressed, but Aston Villa have been slightly the better team.
They have. It's all about the width for Villa, really. Week in, week out, we see Ashley Young in the Premier League. How he's not in the England side, I don't know, because he offers you pace, he offers you incision, he can get the ball in the final third, pull it back, and it was a really easy task for Gareth Barry to pull that back. And a word for James Milner as well. He did well on the right-hand side.
I tell you what, Stan, so much to talk about in that first half. I reckon even a test for Pat Nevin's analytical skills. What do you make of that, Pat?
I tell you what, we talk about total football sometimes, total crossing ability right from the start. Absolutely fantastic. Just as Stan was mentioned there, Ashley Young and Milner getting the balls in, putting crosses in. Now, this is exactly what you expect when John Carew is playing. However, it doesn't really matter because Laursen's in there. And if you keep on putting quality crosses like that in, positive things are going to happen all night. That's the sort of thing that Martin O'Neill has always loved his teams to do. And, you know, they didn't think twice about it. Every time there was half a chance, get the ball in, don't look up, get the ball in, no problem. The Dutch learned a little bit as well. First chance they got, they put it in. However, look at this. Defensively, is zone marking. They've got a line there waiting for these four players to come and run beyond them. However, if you are a defensive player, you cannot jump. Look, and he comes, puts the power in. Now, you think that they would learn from that, Aston Villa. They've run along there, but look at that line. It's exactly the same. Their line of defence has been breached. And that man, Vermaelen, he's very, very happy about it as well. And he will have more chances later on. Once again, we see that defensive line. The cross is going to come in, but there's a defensive line. They're on their heels. When the ball finally gets to the back post, there's two players completely free. So the zonal defence just isn't working so far. Talking about great crosses, here's the worst one of the night so far. Leads to a goal for Barry. Absolutely fantastic. Great goal from him. But I'll tell you what, if that man was playing tonight, he'd have had a hat-trick already, no matter who he was playing for.
Lovely, thank you very much, Pat. You mentioned Milner at the start. Obviously we had him when he was at Newcastle here on Football on 5. We've always been a big fan. More from Pat, of course, at the end of the game. But there was another live match in 5 today, which was Spurs as they travelled to Northern Italy to take on Udinese. And I think the headline for this one is, who needs friends?
Gomez. Oh dearie me, what is he doing there? That was surely a dive. It's a penalty.
I think it was a penalty. I think his arms are all around him. What a poor decision that is from Gomez. His touch was dreadful. He's taking it back into Cuellar.
Now what's the decision? It'll be a yellow card for Gomez.
Look, his arms are all around him. What a stupid decision that was from Gomez.
Di Natale, 1-0. To foul on Sanchez. It's a yellow card.
I think that could be for a back chat as well from O'Hara.
Motta making any progress forward, and this may well be another yellow card, and O'Hara's already been booked. And it's a dismissal for Tottenham Hotspur.
Just look at him come across there. He can't afford to make challenges like that. And really Spurs, you know, it's their own fault tonight.
4 against 3. Gomez is hesitating. It's Pepe. Still Pepe. Off the post and in. A touch fortunate, maybe. But Simone Pepe has surely ensured all 3 points for Udinese.
We always knew it was going to be tough. Coming here, they're in good form at the moment. And you know, first of all, you know, the lads worked their socks off today. You know, there's no one hiding. You know, we're trying our best to put it right at the moment. You know, it's just not happening for us at the moment.
And Jonathan, you've got to pick yourselves back up for Sunday in a massive game at home against Bolton.
Yeah, it's a massive game. We need it. When we've been saying that for the last 6 games, but this is must win. We're in the relegation zone big time. We need to really fight for each other and really work harder than what we're doing now, and just keep on going and sticking together.
A miserable time for Spurs in the UEFA Cup, but not so here at Villa Park. They're 45 minutes away from a major European scalp, namely Ajax. Second half live and exclusive next on 5.
Oh, well, there's only one thing you want more than Peugeot Boxer in the middle. Another one!
Come to Saints Row, a world of freedom, where every day offers new opportunities to be who you want to be and go where you want to go. See the sights and share the good times. The sky really is the limit, and the only thing missing is you.
Saints Row 2, out now.
The new online casino at williamhill.tv. Your game, your rules.
The coolest movie of the year. Wanted on DVD.
Welcome to the jungle.
Hunted down on DVD now.
Let's open this new Cronenberg 1664 with Dynamo System.
Small bubble, you know? Amazing. So small. Lovely bubble, perfect.
New Cronenberg with Dynamo System. No big bubble.
Excuse me, I'd like to know why I'm not getting the great rate I had when I opened my savings account.
Follow me. You're no longer enjoying the introductory savings rate.
I didn't realise I was on an introductory rate. When I was over there...
The introductory part of the bank.
You gave me a cappuccino.
Introductory cappuccino.
And the biscuits?
Introductory bickies.
You were nice over there.
That'd be introductory niceness. Mind the introductory shag pile.
At Nationwide, we don't offer introductory savings rates that don't last. We offer great rates that do last. Maybe that's why over 14 million people trust us with their money.
Could you describe for us what transpired at the location?
This isn't gonna go how you want it to.
A brutal crime.
The men who were killed were under your brother's command.
A powerful bond.
Feigl killed our guys.
She says it was a cop. She said it was Jimmy.
An unthinkable choice.
They were protecting their own, and they were burying the truth. A guy like this could tear apart the entire department.
You got anything you want to say to me?
You breathe a word of this,
I'll slit your throat. You have lost your mind.
Pride and Glory.
I've been short of logic, so I'm passed out on the patio. This can't slowly floor. I've been here before, 12 times.
How can you reduce your carbon tyre print? Well, reducing any unnecessary weight is a good start. Or develop your own hybrid propulsion technology. Or you could buy a Blue Line approved Peugeot 308 with CO2 emissions of just 120 grams per kilometre and 62 miles per gallon. We've got great offers on all Blue Line approved Peugeot cars throughout October, so visit your local dealer now to reduce your carbon tyre print.
When I was born,
the world was a far simpler place.
Welcome to the layer cake, son.
You are in the wrong game, mate.
Layer Cake, 9 o'clock Sunday on 5.
Oh, look at that, the Peugeot expert. It's not often you see a big lad move like that, I tell you.
Welcome back to Football in 5. Just a moment to give you another chance to win £1,000, a football shirt of your choice, a big television and loads of Nintendo Wii equipment. The question is, the last British team to win the UEFA Cup, is it A, Tottenham, B, Liverpool or C, Ipswich? The phone number is 090 1533 9911 or text football plus A, B or C to 81555. Calls cost £1 from a BT landline. Calls from other networks may vary, and from mobiles will cost considerably more. If you want to enter by text, it's £1 plus one message is standard network rate, and the lines will close at 20 to 10. Tonight it's the second half of Aston Villa Ajax. They're 2-1 up to the good, and this is not the first time we've enjoyed a night of UEFA Cup glory here at Villa Park. Let me take you back 10 years ago. A fresh-faced Stan Collymore. What a rasper, but check out this celebration. The boy's gone crazy, and he's in a commentary box now with Tony Jones. Come on, Collymore.
I did enjoy that, didn't you, Stan?
I did indeed. I've shown it quite a few times over at the Holt End corner, and got reminded of it this evening, of course. Very, very happy days here, and good European night at Villa Park. Hopefully we can replicate it this evening.
Terrific atmosphere during a wonderful opening 45 minutes. Aston Villa full of vim and vigour right from the very start. Martin O'Neill had obviously said in his team talk, just get out there and get at this Ajax team.
Whit Freely from Villa over on the right-hand side. James Milner has created problems, but Ashley Young down that left hand side really has done exceptionally well. And when Villa get right the way to the byline, as they like to do, Nicky Shorey's done it a couple of times as well. They've got decent ball in the box, and we've already seen one corner, goal from Laursen, one pull-back from the byline, one goal from Ashley Young.
Villa getting stronger season by season with Martin O'Neill in charge. Let's also remember the investment of the American Randy Lerner as well. He paid, what, £63 million for this club? Villa looking up, and they've got a spine of Englishmen in there as well. Players who Martin O'Neill has brought in, and there is confirmation of the Aston Villa team this evening. No John Carew, the Norwegian international, in attack because he's unwell at the moment. Curtis Davies has dropped out. Carlos Cuellar playing in the middle of the back four. Luke Young and Nicky Shorey both back, having been rested at the weekend against Portsmouth in the Premier League.
I think that you mentioned there, Tony, the word spine, and certainly for Aston Villa and for Martin O'Neill, wherever he's been, Celtic, Leicester City, even going right the way back to Wycombe Wanderers. Experienced goalkeeper, experienced central defender, experienced central midfielder, and a threat up front. If you have that, you can build around it.
Also terrific pace, provided by Milner on the right and Young down the left this evening for Aston Villa. It is Ashley Young who set up the second goal just before the interval for Gareth Barry. He's back there to try and support Nicky Shorey. Shorey, one of those who's seen it all during his playing career, played for England and has played in all four divisions.
I think that Martin's got a really good track record of bringing in players that maybe have gone off the boil at other clubs or been relegated, in the case of Nicky Shorey. Luke Young, of course, as well, probably could be in the former category. Got an exceptional track record handling players.
Is Suarez set up there by Huntelaar. It's Cuellar who got across to cover them.
Just need to be mindful, Villa. Started out a little bit sluggishly. Suarez pretty much picked up from where he left off in the first half. Always happy to run at players, drops his shoulder. Lots of skill, as you imagine, from young South American. Emanuelson to take the corner. Again, whipped in.
Vermaelen scored from a corner kick like this for Ajax in the first half. Driven in once more by Emanuelson. It was met by Suarez this time.
Decent flick header, he's just run towards the ball. See there, the corner at the apex of the 6-yard box. Probably wanted to get a little less of a contact on it, just a little flick on to allow for players attacking the edge of the 6-yard box to try and get a touch on it. whose contact was a little bit too heavy.
Suarez has scored a couple of goals already this season in Europe. Just the 2 fixtures played by Ajax to reach these group stages of the UEFA Cup. It is the final UEFA Cup. We have the Europa League next season, and there is a league you'll be able to see extensively live on 5, right the way through to the final. Here's Barry. Dispossessed there by Lindgren. Also fouling the Swede. I mentioned in the first half stand the number of scouts, whether they be from the Premier League or some of Europe's bigger clubs. It's incredible to think that Ajax are no longer considered as one of Europe's elite, isn't it? That we'll maybe be eyeing up 1 or 2 of these players. We mentioned Huntelaar in the first half, as Sarpong, who's emerged on the scene this season. Emanuelson, who so nearly went to the European Championships as well.
I think as well, it's been, what, 4 or 5 years since Ajax won an Eredivisie title. That's been pretty much the preserve of PSV Eindhoven ever since. So when you're looking to attract players, Ajax always had a blend of bringing in 1 or 2 marquee players to bring on the young talent that they've always produced, but they haven't even been able to do that the last 3 or 4 years, because those marquee players want to go to PSV, want to go to other places around Europe, Turkish League, French League.
Reo-Coker. Come back to that in a moment as Barry tries to get the cross in there for Agbonlahor. Petrov, beaten finalist in the UEFA Cup with Celtic. Cuellar, of course, who was with Glasgow Rangers last season, who missed out in the final as well, losing to Zenit St Petersburg at the City of Manchester Stadium. Bruno Silva went on strike last Christmas, refused to play for Groningen. Sure, but he made a January switch to Ajax and teamed up again with his Uruguayan international teammate Luis Suarez. Reo-Coker. Now Ashley Young. Agbonlahor has been joined by Barry. There's Agbonlahor. Vermaelen with the interception then, and Agbonlahor were trying to find Barry. It's come out to Milner. The shot is deflected. It's a corner this to Aston Villa.
Again, came on the back of decent possession. It started to get a little bit scrappy from both sides in the centre of midfield. Ashley Young, though, again, stretching his legs over on that left-hand side. Played a great little reverse pass into the path of Gabri Agbonlahor. It's ended up going for a corner. Gareth Barry, usually good delivery.
Laursen has scored after just 8 minutes of the first half. Good save by Vermeer. And he got up on his feet again to save acrobatically then, and just held on.
Good.
It was Shorey with a shot.
Yeah, it was excellent. Good technique from Nicky Shorey, just to keep the ball down. Good save by Vermeer. And then it was the skipper again, right on the penalty spot, Martin Laursen. 1 or 2 Villa fans at the North Stand end thought that the ball had gone in, but a good save by the Dutchman.
Blessed with a couple of very talented goalkeepers, Ajax. Martin Stekelenburg, who has been the first choice for the last 3 seasons, now the current #1 for the Netherlands. Although he is on the injured list at the moment. And Vermeer, who has played for the under-21s and who went to the Olympic Games. The Dutch going out in the quarter-finals after extra time to Argentina. Vermaelen. Now Emanuelson. Sarpong. There's no doubt Aston Villa want to try and improve their home form this season. They lost 6 home games in the Premier League last season. Only 10 defeats all season. Agbonlahor. Holding off Oleguer. Ashley Young, the support from Shorey.
There's the perennial problem for a right-footed left winger, if you like. Always tempted to come in on that right-hand side. Just see there, instead of going past Silva, down the left-hand side, opts to cut in. And then you're really looking for it to be whipped in with pace, power, around that penalty spot. Try and get a glancing header. Agbonlahor, Gareth Barry backing up.
There's the Aston Villa owner, Randy Lerner. The American who knows all about Aston Villa's history will know that back in 1982 they won the European Cup. Invested heavily on the pitch and has invested off it as well. They've refurbished the Holt End at Villa Park. And his backing has been supported by the Villa fans as well.
I think, to be fair to him as well, he's been one of the better owners, obviously, around the league. Plenty have got banner headlines for what they've done or not done for their club. Randy Lerner very much in the background, doesn't really talk to the press, just happy to give Martin O'Neill what he requires in funding. It's been made very welcome here.
Here's Shorey. Put behind by Bruno Silva.
Certainly think he's the weak link. Bruno Silva, the Uruguayan, and that right-back berth. Again, if Ashley Young decides to go past him on the outside, pull that ball back, we've already seen what Gareth Barry can do. You see here, Villa got plenty of bodies in the box. Barry on the goalkeeper, Agbonlahor will go near post.
Welcome to Cuellar. And there was at full stretch. And then was the decoy.
Just gone a little bit flat this last 5 or 10 minutes, apart from 1 or 2 decent runs from Ashley Young over on that left. Hasn't hit the heights of the first half, where Ajax's wonderful possession football was complemented by Villa's pace down in wide positions.
So it's time for Ajax to make a change. Less than 10 minutes of the second half played. It's Sarpong who is going off. Cvitanich coming on in his place. Cvitanich. Sarpong rather ineffective in the centre midfield. More of an attacking threat now that Cvitanich is on. He will be expected to push forward to support Huntelaar and Suarez.
I think as well for Klaas Huntelaar, you can see he really depends on a service. He's not the kind of player that's going to go and take 2 or 3 players on and do anything magical. Probably like Dirk Kuyt when he, before he came into the Premier League, unerring in front of goal, but absolutely depended on a service.
33 goals in 34 games for Klaas Huntelaar last season. Managed 33 as well in the season when he made the switch from Heerenveen 4 years ago now. So don't forget that later, at 1 o'clock tomorrow morning, in fact, on 5, you can see the Philadelphia Phillies at Tampa Bay Rays. World Series Baseball, Game 2 in that series. The Phillies currently 1 up in the series. We'll see the second fixture at 1 tomorrow morning at 5. Now,
they've got a good understanding down that left-hand side. Nicky Shorey and Ashley Young.
Agbonlahor. Just couldn't quite wriggle away from Vermaelen.
Martin O'Neill just out on his in the technical area. Always bundles of nervous energy. Just seeing there, his arms folded, but he won't be happy. Certainly here at Villa Park, would like to see his team maybe get another goal. Couldn't see Ajax coming back from that. And his technical staff, Steve Wolford, Seamus McDonough, Curtis Davies, John Robertson, of course, former European Cup winner in Nottingham Forest. Probably one of Nottingham Forest's all-time best players.
And they've seen some wonderful nights in Europe as players. A couple of terrific seasons as well. On the coaching side at Celtic. famous left winger in his day. You'd appreciated his service, wouldn't you?
Oh, absolutely. There was a man that could get to the byline and whip a ball in for you.
Taking a bit of a risk, bringing Cvitanich on. He missed the fixture at the weekend with a hamstring injury. Another of Ajax's summer recruits, or even Marco van Basten's recruits, having taken over. Van Basten stepping down as the Dutch national coach after the European Championships. Outwitted by Gus Hiddink when Russia defeated the Netherlands in Basel.
Been a real tough baptism of fire for Marco van Basten, as it has for Jurgen Klinsmann at his spiritual own Bayern Munich. Two bright young managers that a lot's been expected of, but they haven't delivered yet.
What do you make of his attack after that 5-2 defeat at Herenveen? Called it humiliating. Often said, isn't it, that a coach should keep those days when he takes the paint off the dressing room door and the dressing room walls for special occasions. He's only 5 games into the season. Now that's aimed towards Ashley Young. It's Bruno Silva who's been able to get it away from Ashley Young, if only just.
Really good play from Luke Young. We haven't seen him get forward too many times in this game. But again, gets beyond the corner of the 18-yard box, whips in a delightful ball. And it was Ashley Young at the far post. As you see, substitution. Another one for Ajax.
Second change then. Leonardo, supposedly on his way out to the club in January, is coming on in place of Luis Suarez. Ashley Young. Fantastic work there by Ashley Young. Villa asking for the penalty.
Not sure whether Suarez got a knock, but I certainly think that he was Ajax's best player. I think the Villa rear guard will be quite happy with him not running at them.
Emanuelson. Lukia. Here's Barry. Barry has created the room for the shot, which was on his less favoured right foot.
I think people tend to forget, certainly people here at Villa Park don't, that Gareth Barry can create chances, can get shots on target and play in the final third of the pitch. Certainly for England of late, Fabio Capello seems to have him down as the defensive midfield player. Obviously, Owen Hargreaves has been injured, but certainly in the international scene, I'd like to see Barry alongside one of either Frank Lampard or Steven Gerrard. I know that debate rages on at how you fit those two world-class players in, but Gareth Barry, for me, has earned his stripes in an England shirt now.
And his attitude couldn't be faulted, particularly when all that speculation was going around during the summer about the move to Liverpool, which never happened for him. Kept his head down, did his job as well. And I think Martin O'Neill admired that. 2 substitutions then by Ajax, both tactical substitutions. Marco van Basten deciding that he needs a change of approach. Here's Leonardo. One of the 2 have just come on. Now Emanuelson. Picked off by Petrov. He's unable to get away from Gabri. Milner. Reo-Coker had made the run for James Milner then.
Not sure what the referee was seeing there. I think that was fair play by Gabri Agbonlahor. Just see there, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Rasmus Lindgren just pushed off the ball quite easily. Certainly not a free kick.
Huntelaar.
Just going through a scrappy phase again. Pulling in to keep possession of the ball. Excellent run by Gareth Barry into the channel. Helped
away by Vermaelen. Martin O'Neill pouncing, ready to pounce in the Aston Villa technical area. I don't think he'll change it. He's reasonably happy with the way that his team have shaped up.
Yeah, I think for Villa now, if they take the game up another 5-10%, they can quite easily finish Ajax off. Just looking at Villa's options. Got Marlon Harewood, of course, who could come on. Mustafa Salifou, defensive midfield player. As we said, Craig Gardner could probably come on in midfield, but things are no problems in that area. They just need to keep that constant stream of ball going wide to Ashley Young. Luke Young over on this right-hand side, get him bombing forward with James Milner, get balls in the box, and it becomes a simple game.
Back in Premier League action on Sunday. They'll go to Wigan Athletic, then they've a home fixture against Blackburn Rovers in midweek next week. Also keen to get Steve Sidwell back, who's missed the bulk of the season. He picked up a calf injury in Villa's first game against Odense. First game in Inter Toto Cup.
I think he's a player as well, Steve Sidwell. Obviously didn't work out for him at Chelsea, but when he picks the ball up in midfield, he's got that little bit of imagination, can unlock defences. I'm sure he'll be champing at the bit to get his professional career back on track. I mentioned there that Villa have got to go to Wigan. Kind of form they're in at the moment. Amir Zaki, of course, is my favourite player in the Premier League.
Zaki has had a terrific start to his Premier League career, currently on loan to Wigan Athletic, and Wigan apparently have got the first option on him, although I noticed in one of the newspapers this week that Real Madrid have shown an interest now. Shows what a difference 1 or 2 goals in the Premier League can make. Here's Shorey. Now Barry. Agbonlahor. Kept in there by Agbonlahor. I think everybody in that Ajax defence thought that they should have had a free kick then.
I think we are starting to get towards the time in football where it becomes less and less of a contact sport, and referees all too eager to blow the whistle. Any physicality between players. Just good play by Gabriel Agbonlahor. Used his strength right on the goal line. You expect a defender at least to put in some kind of challenge. But again, Gareth Barry in the final third, you just see the cute little outside of the right foot, I think it was, to put in Agbonlahor. Shows his value, not just as a midfielder, but in the final third too.
3 goals he scored for Aston Villa in Europe already this season. A European season which began in July and will continue right the way through to December. December at least, because then in the new year, of course, we have the knockout rounds, and don't forget, live on 5 you can see Villa next at Slavia Prague, the home fixture against Zelina, and then at Hamburg on December the 17th. Ajax, Villa and Hamburg, of course, former European champions who are in this Group F. And Hamburg, who are top of the Bundesliga, with Martin Jol in charge.
Certainly think now that the Europa League, as it will be known from next year, is a real viable alternative to the Champions League. Certainly since the European Cup Winners' Cup was binned, the UEFA Cup really has been a second-rate tournament. But you're looking at the teams in it: Stuttgart, Sevilla, Spurs, Villa, Manchester City, Feyenoord, St Etienne, Paris Saint-Germain, famous European names.
I think you missed out Milan as well, the former European Cup winners. Agbonlahor. And let us not forget, we've got Portsmouth in it now. Agbonlahor. Has he been brought down? Referee says no. Tells Gabri Agbonlahor to get back to his feet. Hefty challenge there by Barry.
I'm not quite sure what Leonardo was doing back there, but it was an attacker's challenge. You just see there, he's trying to take the ball out. And I think that was good strength again by Agbonlahor. Nothing wrong with that. If he stays on his feet, he's clear on goal. And maybe Villa can get that elusive third. which again, for me, would kill the game off.
We will now have a word with Cvitanich. Laursen there putting Aston Villa ahead. Terrific start for Aston Villa. Then the equaliser for Thomas Vermaelen. 1-1 again from a corner kick. And then just before half-time, Gareth Barry with his third European goal of the season to make it Aston Villa 2, Ajax 1 at Villa Park. There has been some nights at Villa Park, just beyond the halfway point now in this second half. Villa responding to the encouragement that they've been given by their supporters. It's been a 6-year wait for European football.
I think as well, when the draw was made, Martin O'Neill not only delighted to have a big club like Ajax, but delighted to be drawn at home, especially seeing Braga against Pompey, Udinese against Spurs.
Bruno Silva with a cross, and the header was by Cvitanich. Was just offside, wouldn't have counted.
I make that the first time that Silva got forward into an attacking position over on the right. Great cross, beats the first man, all ends up. Optimum position between the penalty spot and edge of the 6-yard box. And Cvitanich attacked it. If it had been another foot taller, might have nodded that into the goal, but it wouldn't have mattered anyway. But signs there that Bruno Silva, a Uruguayan fullback, better going forward than backpedaling the other way.
Cvitanich, who's arrived in the Netherlands from Argentina, who was playing for Banfield and managed 19 goals for them last season. Played for Banfield in the Copa Libertadores, which is the South American equivalent of the Champions League in Europe. He's now just obtained a Croatian passport. Here's Luciano. One of the game in this group being played this evening, and Hamburg got their first 3 points. 2-1 winners against Zelina. Away win for Hamburg. When the draw was made, Marco van Basten did say that he was delighted that Ajax should be pitched in with two teams from two of the bigger leagues in Europe, Aston Villa and Hamburg.
Certainly good experience for his younger players.
There's Gabri. Now Huntelaar. Emanuelson. Cvitanich trying to take the sting out of that pass from Emanuelson. Touched on the new Europa League. There will be a new format for what is the UEFA Cup next season. Group stage with 12 groups of 4. It means that teams will play each other home and away. 6 fixtures. 6 fixtures before they then get into the knockout phase. The also-rans from the Champions League will join them. Teams who finish third in the group stages of the Champions League. I think so, different format.
Yeah, I think that can only be good for our English teams that are just underneath the Champions League teams. We've seen how Manchester United, Chelsea, Liverpool and Arsenal have benefited from playing home and away at some of the bigger grounds in Europe. Now that tier just underneath, Villa, Man City, Blackburn's, Portsmouth, Everton, get the opportunity to do the same. I think it'll take our standard up in Europe much, much higher.
Nice standard this evening so far from Aston Villa. Shorey.
Certainly didn't expect that from Ajax. That was a Wimbledon clear your lines there. He's obviously got a shout from the central defender to come out. Certainly didn't expect that from the pure footballing Dutch. Tempo's just gone down now, 10-15%. So now Ajax are trying to defend a little bit better in wide positions. Villa's midfield structure staying very strong. Reo-Coker, Petrov, James Milner over on the right. He's just come off that right-hand berth.
Martin O'Neill has said there is still room for improvement. We started the Premier League season with that success against Manchester City, then they lost at Stoke. Goalless draw against Liverpool, and successful against Spurs, and the one that the Villa fans really enjoyed, their win against West Bromwich Albion. Win also against Sunderland before defeated Chelsea, and that goalless draw here against Portsmouth at the weekend.
I think that Hamburg obviously are going to be the real test in this group. Top of the Bundesliga, an exceptional manager in Martin Jol. They have finance, great stadium.
Huntelaar is okay. Apparently on one of the Aston Villa message boards at the end of last season, there was a story doing the rounds that Klaus-Jan Huntelaar would be one of Martin O'Neill's summer signings. Somebody'd seen a young man sitting in the director's box and assumed it was Huntelaar, put two and two together and made five, because in fact it was the son of the former Villa chief operating officer Steve Stride, and apparently it's almost a body double for Klaus-Jan Huntelaar. How these stories do the rounds. Cuellar's challenge, which has produced a yellow card.
Just a little bit sloppy, certainly from Luke Young, who gave the ball away to Leonardo, who tried to play the little outside of the left foot round the corner of Carlos Cuellar, former Glasgow Rangers central defender. Picked up a yellow card for his paint. A good free kick position, left-hand side of the 18-yard box. Two options: you can either try and whip it in with the left, get bodies in and around the penalty spot with a header, play a little touch to the right, or Huntelaar, maybe across Brad Friedel.
Given his goal-scoring record, I think Klaus-Jan Huntelaar will have a go from here. Friedel knows it, three in his defensive wall. It is Huntelaar, it's deflected, and deflected over the top of the crossbar. Wall stood firm and did its job, much to Friedel's relief.
Did. Just seeing Huntelaar shaping up for the shot. Not sure it came off in the Villa wall, certainly the central man.
131 goals in 180 games and counting, which is an incredible record. But as we mentioned in the first half, so many have done that in the Netherlands and not elsewhere. Emanuelson with this corner kick.
I think that's the problem, really, scoring so many goals in the Dutch league. Alfonso Alves, Middlesbrough's Alfonso Alves, has done that, taking his time apart from that brace, of course, against Manchester United towards the end of last season. Dirk Kuyt hasn't done it yet. Sorry, Tony.
Yeah, and Cashman as well was another one, of course, who was at PSV previously. Ashley Young. When we first caught the eye in the Championship with Watford, actually had the chance to join West Ham United. Watford had accepted bids from both Aston Villa and from West Ham, and Ashley Young decided that his future was at Villa Park. Young then with this corner kick, looking for Laursen. And Vermeer's fingertips took it away, both from the Villa skipper and also James Milner.
There was a deep corner from Ashley Young, right over the back of Vermeer. Just got the touch on it. This is going to be an out-swinger. James Milner to come back towards the penalty spot.
Laursen waits. Cuellar led with his arm then. And Shorey again was the one who tested the goalkeeper Vermeer. Then with a header earlier in this second half with a shot. And Shorey quickly back in position. Missed out in the Premier League at the weekend. Both he and Luke Young were left out by Martin O'Neill. In his press conference on Monday, when questioned about it, said, well, I picked the best team for the best occasion. The team who I think will do the best job. Bruno Silva. Muscling Cvitanich out of the way. Emanuelson. Important interception again by Cuellar. Just aware that Huntelaar was beyond his right shoulder.
Again, now Emanuelson over on this left-hand side. So again, it'll be an out-swinger away from the goalkeeper.
final substitution by Ajax before they take this corner kick. Silva is going off. Silva off, and Gregory van der Wiel is coming on in his place. He was suspended for the league game at the weekend. In by Emanuelson.
One of the most talked about young prospects, young defender, van der Wiel.
Gabri. And again by Cuellar. Only as far as Emanuelson. He's had a go! And Friedel was at full stretch. That was awkward for Friedel.
Just need to steady the ship now, Villa. Silva, who's gone off, got down the right-hand side a couple of occasions, and that man, Emanuelson, fantastic strike across Friedel. Just see their technique, top of the foot, right across Cuellar, and Friedel did well to get a firm hand to that and push it out to safety. Good save.
Friedel, the big American who was disappointed that Blackburn didn't make any real progress in the UEFA Cup last season, didn't make the group stages. He's got the luxury now with Aston Villa.
I think they're playing in the Champions League and the UEFA Cup, and it's new guys next season. It's a real chance for players to learn about the European game, completely different from the Premier League. Crash bang wallet, a lot more thoughtful, different challenges.
Done by Lindgren. Leonardo. Just that is the target at the moment for Aston Villa to finish in the top four in the Premier League. It's a big ask, but year on year they have made progress.
And just knocking heads. John Robertson and Martin O'Neill maybe about to make a change. It's difficult to see where it come from. Maybe take a midfielder off. A bit more legs, mobility in midfield, because certainly at the moment Leonardo, Emanuelson over on this side, Vertonghen, all starting to creep back into the game. An attacking angle from Ajax Amsterdam.
Gardner set to come on for Aston Villa. Here's Huntelaar. Now Emanuelson. Cross is a good one, which is well dealt with once more by Cuellar. Not for the first time in this second half, but the Spaniard has stepped in to clear the danger. Gabri. Cvitanich was looking for Leonardo, and he managed to find Ashley Young.
See, there's the outlet that John Carew usually gives. Aston Villa holds the ball up for 2, 3, 4 seconds. Agbonlahor just doesn't have the physical capacity at the moment to be able to do that and give his team an outlet. Time for a change.
Reo-Coker will go off here for Aston Villa.
Like I said, a little bit more mobility. Craig Gardner, tailor-made, he's played at right full-back. He's played in the centre of midfield. So pretty much like for like. Been a good player for Aston Villa.
So Reo-Coker off. Craig Gardner comes on in his place. Gardner actually played ahead of Reo-Coker. Reo-Coker was playing as a right-back when Aston Villa drew here in one of their earlier rounds against F. Howe of Iceland.
Yeah, I think Martin O'Neill was trying something that day. Reo-Coker right-back, and he just wanted to have a look at Craig Gardner in midfield. It's like to say, Craig Gardner, when he first came into the team, played as right full-back and did quite well, but was pretty much an unknown quantity in the centre of midfield. So he's got that little bit of experience playing in the earlier rounds in that position. He'll be up against Vertonghen.
Spoken about the emphasis that Ajax put on youth, and the same could be said too of Aston Villa.
Well, I did mention Gregory van der Wiel. Number 15 has come on, mobile, reads the game very well. This conveyor belt, as is Robert Schilder, two highly rated young defenders.
Van der Wiel, the 20-year-old.
I certainly think that Ajax's CV is an attraction enough in itself to get the biggest players in Europe. Amsterdam, I'm sure, a great place to play football. Maybe they should look along the English lines, look at the clubs like Chelsea, Liverpool, Aston Villa that have had outside investment into their club to try and take them back into the higher echelons of not only UEFA Cup football but Champions League football.
Laursen challenged by Cvitanich.
Just need to be a little bit more on the front foot now, Villa. We haven't seen much of Young and James Milner as an attacking force in the last 5 or 10 minutes. Just need to get them back on the ball.
Agbonlahor. Agbonlahor just trying to help the ball on then towards Milner. Vermaelen, who got the equalising goal for Ajax after Martin Laursen had put Aston Villa ahead. Gareth Barry restoring Villa's lead just before half-time. Villa back in the European big time. Milner couldn't deceive Vermaelen.
Good last-ditch challenge by Vermaelen, stayed on his feet. Posed the question to James Milner to try and go past him down his outside, but stood his ground and got the challenge in. Certainly the tempo now is the polar opposite to most Premier League games. Nasty challenge.
Late challenge by Gardner, which has produced a yellow card.
Just let Vermaelen know he was there. See Vermaelen and Gardner challenging for the ball. A little bit late, a little bit clumsy. Certainly no intent to hurt the player. Yellow card for Craig Gardner.
Craig Gardner, another of Aston Villa's under-21 internationals, England under-21 internationals. His younger brother Gary was in the England under-16 team last season. Oleguer. Now Milner. Milner's done well, easily away from Vermaelen. Challenge there on the edge of the penalty area, but just outside.
Referee right on the spot, excellent refereeing. It was only about 5 or 6 yards from play. James Milner cut inside Vermaelen too easily. Emanuelson. Maybe a little bit of simulation from the young England under-21 international, but Villa will take that. Free kick. Got to get it up and over quite quickly. Gareth Barry might decide to play it hard and low and just hope that a Villa body gets on the end of it, or a ricochet. It's going to be quite difficult to get it up and over that wall. There's only, what, 15 yards between him and goal.
It is Barry. Clearance came out to Petrov.
Well, quite happy to go home all the way back to Brad Friedel. 1 or 2 groans from the Holt end, but wise decision. Just start again.
Push there by Ashley Young. It was a prodigious leap by Ashley Young. Barry holding on to Leonardo.
You mentioned, Tony, about, obviously John Carew is out this evening and Martin O'Neill being linked with strikers. Traditionally always gone for a big man. Emil Heskey, of course, played for him under Leicester City. Chris Sutton. Just wonder, John Carew has had 1 or 2 niggly little injuries. He might decide to go for some backup in the January transfer window to try and bring the best out of Agbonlahor and Ashley Young.
Yeah, aside from Marlon Harewood, there isn't a great deal else, is there? Hopefully a long-range blast.
Worth an effort this late in the game from Vertonghen, the Belgian. Again, fully 35 yards though. And, know all too well myself, if you're going to beat a goalkeeper from there, it has to be something special.
Well, the banner says it all. The Holt end, the 12th man for Aston Villa. They've given their team fantastic encouragement. They've really warmed to this European occasion. And the crowd this evening is 36,657. Ajax only took 1,000 tickets in the end. They were given 2,000 initially. But because of policing issues and the fact that away tickets are only issued to their club members, they decided to return the tickets so that Aston Villa could do their best to fill the stadium.
I think that Holland will always have a very special place in any Villa fan's heart. Right back to 1982, of course, beaten Bayern Munich. A shank by Peter Wigg, as I remember, in De Kuip, Feyenoord Stadium, old stadium now.
Yep, in Rotterdam. That was a dramatic night as well, with Jimmy Rimmer going off and replaced by Nigel Spink.
It was. Jimmy Rimmer played, 9 minutes in 2 European Cup finals and got 2 medals. Unused substitute for Manchester United in 1968. Not a lot of people know that. That's my quiz question for the evening. And then 7 or 8 minutes for Villa in that game that you just mentioned. It started Nigel Spink's career, basically, that evening.
Yeah, in the European Cup in those days, it was, of course, just 12 in a team. But in the European Cup, they were allowed a substitute goalkeeper as a standby. Here's Milner. Wonderful run by Milner. Now Barry! Really got hold of that, but it was straight at Vermeer.
Vermeer clearing his lines really quickly, and Ajax in the ascendancy.
Leonardo looking for Huntelaar. Barry loses out. Leonardo again. Emanuelson. Now Gabri did his best to keep the shot down. It wasn't successful, and that may well be Ajax's last chance.
We haven't seen much of Gabri, just seen technique. Shorey always leaning back, doesn't get full contact on the ball, high and wide again. Disappointing from Gabri. Another one that's played in La Liga, Barcelona. Talented young player. Well, not so young, but talented. But I haven't seen much of him in the final third for Ajax this evening.
Gabri just on his way back from injury. Ajax blighted with so many injuries during the first few weeks of the season. We mentioned as well that 5 were away at the Olympic Games as well, including their goal scorer tonight, Thomas Vermaelen, who was there with Belgium along with Jan Vertonghen.
It'll be a respite for Villa now. Maybe try and keep the ball in the corner between Gareth Barry and Ashley Young. Just see the clock out. Come away with what will be a really big opening day win. Hamburg have already been to Zelina, taking the points. Can Villa do the same?
Third place, of course, in the group would be enough to take a team through. Hamburg have managed their first 3 points winning away against Zelina. Complicated qualifying process for the knockout stages of the UEFA Cup in the new year. Next season we will have the Europa League. Vermeer will get that ahead of Agbonlahor, and Agbonlahor has just been caught by the shoulder of the Ajax goalkeeper then.
Well, that's the last thing that Villa need. I think he just caught the outside of his knee. You just see the Villa staff on their feet there, concerned. Massive part of Aston Villa's attacking threat, Gabriel Agbonlahor, and so late in the game. Just have a look, maybe. Vermeer came out towards the edge of the box. Obviously cleared his lines, we get to see it again. There you go, catches him right on the outside, the medial ligament. Quite a nasty one, they'll just hope it's bruising and no ligament damage. Alan Smith helped me back from a broken leg back in my Leicester City days. On the pitch now, stretcher him off.
Well, this is a real worry for Aston Villa. No John Carew this evening, out because of sickness, but they may end the evening minus Gabi Agbonlahor going off on a stretcher following that collision with Kenneth Vermeer. And the damage is to his right knee.
And credit to Gabriel Agbonlahor for chasing the effort down. He obviously thought he could get in on goal, but there's no doubt that the goalkeeper did catch him with his studs on the outside of the knee. He only has to take a little rock, and just see it again. Good pace by Agbonlahor there. Hopefully, it'll just be a case of bruising, like I say, on the outside of his left knee. And hopefully the knee won't have overflexed and stretched that outside ligament, because that would be 2, 3, potentially 4 weeks, depending on the damage. See there, Villa fans praying.
They will doubtless hope that Gabri Agbonlahor is fit enough for the Premier League at the weekend, but it's not looking good for the England under-21 international at the moment. It has been a marvellous evening for Aston Villa, but it's ended with a sight of Agbonlahor going off on a stretcher. Could gauge it was a bad injury because of the way Martin O'Neill reacted. Curtis Davies has come on in place of Gabri Agbonlahor. Davies, of course, who missed the second half of last season with a serious injury. We hope that the news of Gabri Agbonlahor later will be much more encouraging.
I think there are 2 things you look for in any game. Obviously, to get a positive result, and second, a clean bill of health. Looks like they've got the former. So Villa fans and Martin O'Neill will be waiting with bated breath as the final whistle goes that the latter and that injury to Gabri Agbonlahor isn't serious.
Biggest cheer of the night for the final whistle. They were cheering loudly as well when Martin Laursen put Aston Villa in front, but then from an Ajax corner, Thomas Vermaelen made it 1-1 just before half-time. Gareth Barry restored Aston Villa's advantage. They've got off to a winning start in Group F in the UEFA Cup. It's a night that they've waited a long time for here at Villa Park. Villa are the winners by 2-1. Analysis and reaction after the break.
The new Peugeot Bipper. You can do that for the whole 90 minutes and extra time too.
There are 2 main types of broadband in the UK, my friend. One uses copper wire. One uses strands of glass as thin as human hair to carry information by light. It's fiber optic. It's fast. It's designed with the future in mind. Could this be the mother of all broadband? From Virgin Media.
Come to Saints Row, a world of freedom, where every day offers new opportunities to be who you want to be and go where you want to go. See the sights and share the good times. The sky really is the limit, and the only thing missing is you.
Saints Row 2, out now.
No charges for cards abroad. What are you doing? Sorry? Why don't you charge people for using the cards abroad?
Well, because we don't.
Oh, we're in the same game, you and me, hey? We tell them it's like a tip. It's like a tip.
A tip?
Yeah, well, you tip people on holiday, don't you? How are you going to kid out your staff room without tips?
We don't take tips.
Oh, you want to say our staff room? It's like a billionaire playboy's yacht, only without the...
At Nationwide, we don't charge for using your cards abroad. Maybe that's why over 6 million people have their current account or credit cards with us.
Give me Pepsi Max.
Yes, of course you can give up. But in the future, you might regret your sad, spared life that day for this one chance to...
Everything can hang on the smallest detail. You hit, or you miss. You stay, or you go. Experience high-definition programs subscription-free. The new Panasonic Viera 81 series with screens from 50 to 32 inches. The first televisions with FreeSat HD built in. Panasonic. Ideas for life.
For US city breaks from $399 including flights and hotel, get more in the Big Blue Sale, now on at Expedia.
Let yourself go.
This game reserve is being sold, and there's a fortune to be made from the animals. All these guys have to do is catch them.
But there's so many things that can go wrong, and often do. Almost lost my leg. When things go wrong, that's when the blood flows.
Danger Men continues next Thursday at 9 on 5.
Oh, the new Peugeot partner. If you delivered any more, he'd be up your path in the morning whistling.
Well, they say it's a game of two halves, but it wasn't in the end. No goals in the second half, which means Gareth Barry got the winner tonight. And he's talking now, just outside the tunnel, with Dave Beckett.
Gareth, 2-1 suggests a tight match, and was that how it felt out there?
Yeah, it was very close. I think first half they had the possession that we knew they had, but second half we changed our game plan and, stopped them creating any chances. So I think overall we deserved the win.
There did seem a real determination to hang on to the second lead.
Yeah, that's it. We're disappointed to concede from a corner because we're strong from set pieces, but we knew they was going to play and have a lot of possession tonight. But the scoreline counts, and 3 points are a good start in this competition.
How much confidence do you take from beating one of the big hitters in this group?
Yeah, it was very important. We started with a win, especially at home. Getting Ajax out of the way, now we can look forward to the rest of the games, and it sets us up nicely.
And did you get a real feel of European football tonight? The fans really seem to be into it.
Yeah, that was one of the loudest cheers I've heard here for a while. So we know how much that meant to the fans. So hopefully that can continue.
Smashing, well done.
Cheers.
Not the only winner tonight, Gareth Barry and Aston Villa. Liverpool were the last British team to win the UEFA Cup, and all those goodies go to Anne Llewellyn, who's probably jumping up and down now in Hertfordshire and cheering a lot. We're back in a couple of minutes. Stay with us.
The Peugeot Boxer. You can't buy quality like that. No, apparently you can.
Car ma vie, car mes joies, aujourd'hui, ça commence avec toi.
Improve your home for less at Homebase, where this autumn there's 25% off selected flooring, like this real wood floor, and 25% off selected tiling, like these floor tiles. We've even got a great price on our beach laminate for $3.99 per square metre. Homebase. Make a house a home.
ING Direct. Saving feels good.
We play to bluff, to bamboozle, beat and beguile, to dupe and delude, to suck in, sabotage, trap and trick, to hook and hoax, to fake, feign and fool, and to do it all against the best. We play at FullTiltPoker.com.
Come to Saints Row, city of freedom and opportunity.
Saints Row 2, out now.
Tell me what you know of James Bond.